Ghost in the ship. Super Mario. Big Mike.
Through the concrete jungles, they cradle alive, but they still move them heron bundles. I try to build something, they try to see that crumble. I try to run it back, they try to make me fumble. The fifth go off every time we rumble. I live for the day, trying to avoid that gun hole. Tomorrow ain't promised to me. You know the court, I could get hung from your honest jury. Shit, you know the hood, bad karma fury. But I'm trying to shine cause I'm my mama's jewelry. I've been said I'm gon' make it. When are you with me? And if not, you got it, I'm gon' take it. What up?
Got to live for today, cause tomorrow ain't promised to me. Don't just wanna be.
You remember?
I want my own.
Time is money.
You got it. I'm
Coming in March.
You're coming with me. Bitch, wanna get no playing time.
Time to take Chewy out real quick. Y'all hear how excited he is? So this is our official intro for this hump day, May 21st. And peace and blessings. Michelle and I just want to say we appreciate everyone that's taking the time out to listen and or download. You know what I mean? We really appreciate it. And we'll get to this episode. So enjoy the music, the clips, and the content. And we would please ask that you listen with an open mind. You know what I mean? We all have our own thoughts and opinions, and this is our platform. All right, y'all. It's a little wet out here. Yep, it is rainy and wet in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, y'all. But, so this is going to be a short one. Come on, Chewy. It's going to be a shorter walk, okay? Because it's wet out here. And I just gave him a bath, too, yesterday. Or no, wait, what's today? Wednesday? Monday I gave him a bath. So... yeah, we've been making sure we, take him out every day. Once or twice. Because he's a puppy, so he needs his... get all that energy out. But yeah. Once again, just want to say, appreciate everyone that's listening. And let's finally get to this episode. What happened in Alabama?
Oh, there was a tornado.
Mm-hmm.
And these people were like outside of a building watching it. Like pass by, and I'm just like...
it was a warm, sunny day.
Right, and I'm just like, what are they doing?
I'm going to assume it was some white people. Because they're adventurous, they'll do that. They don't, for some reason, that stuff doesn't, scare them or make them feel
it appeared as though they were white.
I'm going to assume
their
that's a pretty
backs
safe
were to
guess.
the camera, so...
Just hanging out in it, huh? It was...
Yeah, just filming it on their phone.
Yeah, that's super dangerous.
I'd be like,
Down
fuck the footage. Take shelter.
Right. Down there in Alabama. Somewhere I wouldn't want to be. I wouldn't want to live down there. Because I would assume, even though there are a lot of black people that live there, I would assume it's in certain spots.
I would
So
have
for
to
the
live,
most part, you're going to be experiencing white people.
I would have to
majority
live
of
in
the
a diverse neighborhood then.
Right. I would have to. Or somewhere like Mississippi or certain parts of Georgia. Like West Virginia, you wouldn't catch me there for nothing. Passing through. Now, Virginia, that's a different story.
We have a lot
Virginia's
of
cool. We
listeners.
have a lot of... Virginia's been one of our most loyal listeners. Shout out Virginia. They have been with us pretty much from the beginning, so we appreciate
Besides
Virginia.
Wisconsin and Illinois, they're the
Wisconsin, Illinois, Virginia, those are our top three. We've been having a lot of downloads from other countries.
Yeah.
A lot. Serbia, Moldova. How do you spell that? Moldova. There. France, Germany, a lot of Canadas. France. Yeah. Getting a lot of them. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I'm trying to think of them in my head. But Mexico, of course. I haven't seen a Puerto Rico yet. Have we had a Puerto Rico?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Where y'all at, Puerto Rico? You know, my birthday's in 4 days, too. So if y'all want to support our podcast, you know what I mean? Spread the word. Because I know people don't only listen to our podcast on Podbean. So if you're on Spotify or like Audible or whatever, wherever you listen to your podcast, give us a review. Because we don't have sponsors and all that kind of stuff. So our stuff's still just straight up underground, which we don't mind, but still. You know what I mean? We do want to push it a little more. So give us reviews. Whether they're good or bad, give us reviews. You know what I mean? That's the way you guys can support us. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I just gonna look into like other ways to market our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Not really.
Because to be honest with y'all, we haven't really even super delved all into that. We just like talking and just providing information and stuff, like, for the most part. But I think maybe we should take some time and just figure all that out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not my original bag, so I don't.
Right, that's the thing. Because like we didn't, when we started, that wasn't our goal. It wasn't like, let's figure out how we can do all this. It was more like, let's get the podcast going, let's talk about the stuff. It was more along them lines than the monetization part. But when you see other people making money and shit, and you know, you're like, our podcast is better than a lot of these podcasts, and we ain't seeing a penny. So, like, when it comes to that, you'll be kind of like, I wish we were making something. No, it's not, we don't need it. We're just saying, you know what I mean? It'd be cool.
Yeah.
But like I said, that's not what we're striving for, but you do see other people, and you're just like, how are they making this? How are they doing? How, you know? So, obviously, we just got to take more time and figure that stuff out. Like, I don't know what those, like, beans, there's, like, I forgot what they're called like beans or something like that, and you can, like, give them to other podcast hosts, or there's, like, all these little different ways. Like, I think there's things where you can, like, buy someone a cup of coffee.
Oh, okay.
That means that's money, really, but, like, they call it a cup of coffee, so it doesn't seem like you're, hey, send me $5 type shit or whatever, but we'll figure that out. But because we've been podcasting for March, April, May, about 15 months now.
Yeah.
It seems longer than that, but
it does.
So, and I think people can tell where our hearts are at. Like I said, we're never on here asking people for money or send us this or send us that. you know, we're always telling people you can pay us through reviews or, you know, hit the like button or whatever. Just spread the word. You know what I mean? Because it's pretty amazing that our podcast is doing as well as it is with no advertising and none of that. It's just kind of like word of mouth and shit. So it's pretty amazing that we're doing as well as we are with zero sponsors or marketing. I mean, zero. Y'all haven't heard one ad on our podcast in the past 15 months. You haven't heard one ad. No sponsors. And we'll be on here shouting people out, shouting companies out, and all that shit.
Yeah.
They'll be getting free-ass publicity. So, yeah. All right, y'all, we're going to get ready for work. How was your first cup of coffee?
It was delicious.
It was good, yeah. We're out of Collectivo. I'm going to have to go get some today. Because I just can't do the generic for too long.
We have the Stone Creek, right?
That's the Stone Creek. Okay, that's what we're sipping on right now.
It's not bad.
That's not bad. It's not bad at all. So.
It's the Stone Creek Black Sheep.
Nice.
It's the darkest roast they have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we like strong coffee. If you can see the bottom of your cup, you know what I'm saying? Like when you pour your coffee, if you're someone that puts shit in it or whatever, but no matter what, when you pour the coffee at first, if you can see the bottom of the cup, it's too weak.
Yeah.
You should not be able to see the bottom of that cup.
Even if you put like cream or sugar in it, you should be able to taste
You should
coffee.
still be able to taste that coffee, yep. That should still be the dominant taste. Because if it's not, then you're just drinking a bunch of just filler. You just...
Yeah.
So, yeah. So what's going on with that big dumb bill? As far as you know right now.
That big stupid bill.
Yeah, the big stupid
They've
bill.
been arguing about it all night long. They've been...
What does it say? Lawmakers all night on Trump bill spills into the morning. We're watching CNN. Shout out Audie Cornish. Go check her out. She has a show and a podcast.
Yeah. Hey,
Which
stop
we
that.
haven't checked out yet.
No.
Yeah.
We've been too busy with our own.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. All right, y'all. Chewy says good morning. Milwaukee County. This is a pretty interesting article, y'all. This is about the county, Milwaukee County, opening the new COGS building for the Department of Health and Human Services. Yeah, they just moved into a new headquarters, y'all. So Milwaukee County quietly opened its new $42 million Marsha P. COGS Human Services building this month. Quote, "We just opened up our COGS building," says Shakita LeGrant/McLean, Director of the Department of Health and Human Services, speaking to county supervisors Friday. She says, quote, "We are there." The new building at 1230 West Cherry Street replaces the former COGS building a few blocks away at 1220 West Valete Street. The county has been working on the project since 2022, when the Milwaukee County Board approved using $32.3 million in Federal American Rescue Plan Act funding to substantially pay for the development of the new facility. DHHS is the largest department in county government with a budget of more than $215 million and nearly 700 full-time staff. It provides disability, housing, and veteran services, includes what was formerly called the county's Behavioral Health Division, and oversees the Aging and Disability Resource Center, the county's Child Support Services, and the county's Juvenile Justice Facilities. The new 4-story, 60,000 square foot headquarters includes walk-in areas for persons trying to connect with resources provided by any of the department's service areas, which is in line with the department's
no wrong door model that guarantees access to the breadth of DHHS services regardless of where a person first makes contact with the system. Quote, for the first time in history, Milwaukee County finally has a building designed specifically to deliver health and human services to the people of our community, County Executive David Crowley said. Quote, I'm thrilled that employees have begun moving into the new facility so Milwaukee County residents, families, and children can access an inviting, accessible, and warm place to receive the resources and services that they need. The project was set in motion in 2021 after county staff kicked the tires on the former COGS building. Facility staff determined it was in the county's best interest to get out of the 222,000 square foot building originally built between 1910 and 1923 for Schuster's department store, Schuster's. It had mounting maintenance needs, lacked ADA compliant infrastructure, was oversized for the department's needs, and was on the verge of losing its only tenant, the Wisconsin Department of Health Services. However, DHHS officials did not want to leave the building, which was long been used to provide social services. It was purchased by the county in 1961 for what was then called the Department of Welfare. It has been named for Marsha P. Coggs since 2003. DHHS leaders thought it was important that the county's human service agencies maintained a footprint in the King Park neighborhood, which has many residents struggling with poverty and has become the focus of a large county-led affordable housing project. Ultimately, the decision was made to build a new building, but keep it in the same neighborhood. Construction on it began in 2024. The building was designed by Ingberg Anderson Architects, and J.P. Cullen served as a general contractor. Along with DHHS offices, Nourish MKE, formerly Fryden's Food Pantry, is relocated as food pantry to an 8,000 square foot space in the building. Quote, it's more than a building, it's a lifeline, LeGrant McLean told supervisors Friday during a meeting of the board's Committee on Health, Equity, Human Needs, and Strategic Planning. Gorman & Company currently has a $1 million option to purchase agreement with the county for the former COGS building on Bleach Street. The firm, which has experienced redeveloping historical buildings, is expected to exercise the option and purchase it this fall. The building received historic protection in June of 2024. Gorman plans to redevelop the building into 65 affordable housing units with commercial space on the first floor and underground parking, calling it Bleach Street Lofts. Low-income housing tax credits will allow units to be leased at rates that do not exceed 30% of a qualifying household's income. That estimated development cost is approximately $32.3 million. In November last year, the company secured an important final piece of its financing stack for the project when the Federal Home Loan Bank of Chicago awarded it $2 million. The stack also includes historic preservation tax credits, county ARPA funds, and tax incremental financing from the city of Milwaukee. Okay? Just wanted to let y'all know. That's Miles Davis in the background too, y'all. I'm about to go get me a cup of coffee and get my clothes out the dryer. It's hump day, y'all. Enjoy. We are at the middle of the week. And as Michelle was saying, only a couple more sleeps for the weekend.
Pelicans flying in a FedEx truck. Okay, I was 19, see my first $1 million. Believe that? It's all about the Benjamins. That cocaine got an ass nigga eating the friends. Making soda and coke. Stay out with blends. Some shot got a grown man wearing the pins. D-Block, we prepared for any situation. D-Block, we prepared for any any situation. Go ahead. Free fucking living. Gotta get it how I'm living for the moment. So I'm on it with a hard team. You can die today thinking about what you want. Ain't sharp like the needles in the veins that are spark fiends. I'm a product of the pain that the ghetto bring. All my niggas in the vein of caught bad shit. My nigga fucking got life, that's a better bit. Keep it deep like my nigga till your bed tip. You in the booth with me, so I spit the best shit, bitch.
How's the gas station?
That gas station is like hands down the nicest gas. So they did get rid of the service part.
Okay.
Because I did check that out.
It's on Downer and Capitol, right? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, Downer
And that's also the nicest way to come home, too.
It is.
Because it's like relaxing.
It is,
I mean,
yeah.
there was some traffic, but...
It's still a little wet out there?
Yeah. Because like on the way there, I took Humboldt. And then, like, when I got to East Cap, then I went through the park, and I was like, shit, I didn't go to the gas station. So I was like, I'll do it on the way home. So then it was, like, so relaxing to take Downer all the way to North Avenue.
That's what I did this morning when I came home.
Yeah. So relaxing. I mean, it was raining, but...
So then you confirmed the gas station. I wasn't just hyping it up.
No, it's like very well stocked. It's very well lit.
Super clean. Yeah, very well lit, too.
I didn't even go through the whole thing. Like, I walk in and I was like, where's the candy? Like, usually they have it, like,
right.
You know, right there.
Like, before you even get in the door. It's damn near outside.
But it was really nice.
Speaking of candy, Michelle brought me back one of my favorites, Snicker Almond.
Got myself a dark chocolate mint.
Oh, you did? Oh, Kit Kat.
Kit Kat.
Yeah. How much were the candies, though?
I didn't even look.
we just did a grab and go. Yep. And I just made me some waffles. The game, NBA is back on tonight. It's just one game tonight. Michelle's watching, what's this one, baby? I see Charles Oakley and shit in here.
Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Okay. And then Chewy's down here chewing on his bone. Hi, Chewy.
Marley's on the couch.
Marley's on the couch, yeah.
In the same spot all day.
Say hi, Chewy.
Say hi to the people.
Say hi, Marley. Get a hi out of Marley.
You can get on.
You want dinner, honey? I gotta feed her dinner anyways before the game's coming up. That would be messed up, baby. What were we saying about the laundry machine?
Jeez. Yeah, like if you lived next to, I can't get over the glistening skin. If you live next to the laundry room and there's an unbalanced load, and just listening to that for like 20 minutes straight.
That'd be fucked up. Y'all, any of y'all live in an apartment building? Are you in the apartment next to the laundry room? It's do. Because somebody is.
When I washed the comforter that one day, I went in there and the washing machine was like more forward. So I knew that it had like unbalanced and was like moving, and I'm like, shit. Because that was pretty early in the morning when I did that.
Yeah, that'd be a messed up scenario, y'all. You're in an apartment building and you lived in an apartment next to the laundry room. What, baby?
That was like 7 or 8 o'clock last Sunday morning that I washed that. And I was like, man, I feel kind of bad.
Unbalanced load. How was your first sip, baby?
It was delicious.
Nice. So Michelle just asked an interesting question about presidents.
Well then, has there ever been a president who was not married?
I don't even know. I'm going to say probably at least one, though, for sure. There's got to be. But I know that is a thing. Like, if you're not married as a president.
Like, you're not qualified?
Yeah, that's the dumbest thing ever. Michelle's going to look it up. I'm going to say there's probably been, like, I'm going to say two. What do you think?
I'm going to say one.
One?
A president.
Well, you could have chat GTP.
Oh, I do have that downloaded. There was one president. It was James Buchanan, the 15th president, from 1857 to 1861. He was the only U.S. president who never married. He was a lifelong bachelor. Buchanan was once engaged to a woman named Ann Coleman, but the engagement was broken off and she died shortly thereafter. Interesting. He never pursued another relationship and remained single the rest of his life. Maybe because that was the love of his life and she died. During his presidency, his niece, Harriet Lane, served as First Lady and handled White House social duties.
Wow. Little fun fact.
Yeah, interesting. I wonder what Ann Coleman died of.
Right.
Suspicious.
Mysterious.
Maybe she was poisoned.
Maybe.
In the library by the butler.
They poisoned the cleaning supply she was using. Peace and blessings, y'all. I got some information I'm going to read real quick. So, Michelle and I have been talking about reparations and stuff like that, right? Because we feel like black people should get reparations, right? In some form, like, I don't know how all it would look like and what all the details and, like, and all that. That would all have to get worked out. But black people need reparations. I should say we're owed them. We just are. You know what I mean? Because one thing I always talk about, too, like, we don't always talk about, but one thing I bring up, too, right, is, like, with Jewish people, and this is just my opinion. I feel it's a strong opinion, though. I feel like for the most part, there's always individual people that are struggling or don't have anything or make bad choices and just choose to have a shitty life or whatever, right? Because most of how we carve our life out is based off the decisions we make. And then, you know what I mean, like, if you're white, if you're somebody white, though, you are going to have some form of privilege in some kind of way, even if it's on a smaller scale. You know, you're going to always have at least one door open to you, you know. So anyways, I started looking up to just see, like, because I've always heard, like, little rumblings and just in, like, casual conversation, I've been hearing it and stuff, just, you know, throughout time about Jewish people, you know, getting reparations and stuff like that. But that's as far as I ever really, like, took it, right? Or like when I would hear that, I wouldn't go do any digging or, you know, look up any information or whatever, just to, you know, see if that was true or not. I thought maybe it was just, I don't know, because I was like, when I would hear that in my mind, I'd be like, but they own every damn thing, it seems like, you know what I mean? They're running most shit. They don't really need nothing. Like, why would they get reparations? They weren't slaves and all that. You know, that's normally what I would say in my head, and then that'd be just about it, and then I wouldn't really think about it. You know what I mean? Maybe because I'm not white. Maybe it's not that important to me.
You know, so I don't know, but I started looking it up, and I was like, I want to see if they actually, like, just straight up got, like, reparations, like, for real. You know what I mean? And they did. Jewish people did receive reparations, y'all, back in the day, and they're still getting them today in some form or fashion. They're still getting payouts. You know what I mean? And a lot of that would have to go into them having so much, you know, a lot of the shit that they have now. If you look it up, I'll do some of that. I'll look up some of that information as well. But Jewish people are having stuff out here for the most part. They're owning stuff. They're running stuff. They got their hand in everything. You know what I mean? So, you know, one would have to imagine that, and I think it's a pretty safe bet to say that a lot of their success, or a good amount of it, has to come from the reparations that they received. You know what I mean? So I did look up some more information, and so I got some detailed stats on Jewish reparations, and these cover, like, historical payments. I'm talking about from back in the day, on up to the day, to ongoing, you know, payments that they're getting and stuff like that. And the recipients. So basically, this covers historical payments, ongoing disbursements, and the scope of the recipients that are getting the money, or the payouts, or whatever. However they're getting it. They're getting it, though. So this is the total reparations that is being paid by Germany. And rightfully so. They should be paying it. They were the ones that were fucking them up. You know what I mean? So the total amount since 1952 has been over $80 billion. Approximately 86 billion U.S. dollars as of 2025 in reparations and compensation to Jewish individuals and institutions worldwide. Y'all heard that, yo? So over 80 billion in either that is that German or Jewish, you know, however their money translate, but it's $86 billion in U.S. Dollars as of 2025. So there are approximately $86 billion that they're receiving as of 2025 in reparations and compensation for Jewish individuals and institutions worldwide. Institutions, y'all heard that? Man, they probably get all kinds of, like, scholarships and all kinds of stuff. I know a lot of that money's probably, like, you know, going to schools and, like, education and stuff like that, and then they're probably getting, like, a nice fat-ass stipend all the time and shit. So let's see. But we're going to find out. We're going to keep reading some more here. So Luxembourg Agreement of 1952 to Israel. So they got 3 billion Dutch marks used primarily to absorb Holocaust survivors and build infrastructure in the early Israel state. See? So they were giving them money, you know what I mean, and fixing the infrastructure up, which means housing, you know, all that stuff. Hospitals, banking, grocery, all that. Roads, so they were, you know, they were literally fixing, you know, man, giving them everything they needed to To Claims Conference, Jewish Restitution Body. To Claims Conference / Jewish Restitution Body. $450 million Deutsche Marks for rebuilding Jewish communities and aiding survivors. $450 million, y'all. They gave them to rebuild their community. That's a lot of money. Do you know what $450 million could do for fixing up Milwaukee? I'm not talking about downtown Milwaukee or none of that shit, or the outskirts. I'm talking about Milwaukee. Black Milwaukee, I'm going to call it, whatever. Fix black Milwaukee up. Because white Milwaukee don't need no fixing up. White Milwaukee's got the AmFam Park or Miller Park, whatever it's called. You know, white Milwaukee's got Summerfest. White Milwaukee's got fishing and tailgating and banks and breweries and nice restaurants and claims conference payments as of 2024, y'all. So the claims conference payments have totaled over to individual survivors, y'all. So total amount paid to individual survivors is over $90 billion in U.S. dollars, and that includes pensions, one-time payments, emergency aid, and health services. Current annual disbursements. So as of this year, over $700 million U.S. dollars per year in direct compensation and survival welfare. Yo, they're getting all kinds of money. Over $700 million a year in direct compensation and survival welfare. And I'm not hating on them. When I read this, I'm not hating on like, damn, they shouldn't be getting this. I'm saying we should be getting it. We should be getting it first. Damn, man. Like, right? Like, the Holocaust was brutal as fuck. But and I'm not trying to, it's just like, but slavery had to have been the worst stuff ever. You know what I mean? I mean, we were getting fucked over in all kinds of ways. Brutalized. Raped. Murdered. Y'all done heard the stories about how they would tie slaves up to like a horse? In between like two horses or something like that, I believe it was. They would like tie you up, like all your limbs, right? So your two arms and two legs. And they would like tie you to these horses or whatever, right? And then they would get the horses all riled up or whatever, how they do that, get them all freaked out. And then the horses just start going nuts and running all in different directions, and then your limbs just tear and rip up. They were doing that kind of shit to black people. They were feeding black children and stuff to alligators. So, like, if Jewish people are getting all this money and, like, all this, I mean, and it doesn't sound like they're just giving them money. They're building infrastructure and all that, and they're helping them, you know what I'm saying, so they can get their education and shit like that. And that's why you don't hear Jewish people complaining about the Holocaust as much. I'm saying just like outwardly, all the time. You know how black people, we talk about slavery and how it still affects us and stuff. Because it does. Because as a whole, our community hasn't recovered. Certain individuals have, and we got black people that are out here thriving and doing real good and having a lot of stuff. Wealthy, rich, whatever. From doctors to entertainers to sports people. We got people doing a lot of good stuff. But I'm saying the majority of us are still either paycheck to paycheck, we're struggling, you know what I mean, or, we're just working every day and paying the bills and only got a few bucks left over. I feel a lot of us are in that boat. You know what I mean? So, that means slavery is still affecting us because a lot of it comes from just the broken families and just us not knowing our family. Like, we don't have, like, just all of us black people, our family history just isn't intact in totality like a lot of other people's. Like, we can't trace all our ancestry, there's holes. Is what I'm saying. Like, we all know we're descendants from Africa, if you're black. You know what I mean? But as far as like our families, you know what I mean? Because just all the raping that was going on and all the killing and stuff. So there's segments and generations and of individuals that, you know what I mean? A lot of information isn't there to even look up or even find, to even, you know, tie things together. Like, okay, I can start here and then I can tie this person to boom, boom, boom. Like there's holes and there's gaps in our shit. And then you throw into the, you know, go fast forward up to today. And when I mean today, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you go back even to, like, you know, between, like, the 70s and then when the 90s came and stuff and all the locking up of us, you know, when they were calling us the super predators and the 94 crime bill and all that, because that stuff did affect me. Now, I was choosing to get in trouble. I was committing crimes, I'm saying, but, like, that crime, 94 crime, all that shit, lock them up, all that shit, throw away the key shit, truth and sentencing. That's why Scott Walker came out, that truth and sentencing bullshit in, like, 99. That's why I'm doing so much. That's why my parole is so long, y'all. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know, all that stuff adds into, you know, a broken community. And for us to still be doing as well as we are, though, overall, is pretty amazing. And that just shows you the tenacity and the drive in us to just, you know what I mean? Because we've been the underdog forever. We've been the damn underdog forever. We've been getting the shit stick forever. But anyways, my point is like, man, like, so you can't sit here and say that you can't give out reparations and shit like that. Because you're giving them to Jewish people. And although what they went, I'll just put it like this. The Holocaust was a 9. Slavery was a 10. As far as brutality on the scale level of fucked upness, slavery was a 10. Holocaust was a 9. Is that, I think that's fair, right? I think that's fair. Because you just can't say the Holocaust was worse than slavery. Didn't last as long. Not as much individual things were happening to Jewish people like that. And they have made their communities have bounced back, and they have made themselves whole again. And they got that white skin, too. You know what I'm saying? I read a list the other day during the podcast when we were talking about, you know, all the different races of individuals that they're deporting out the country. How can you sit here and tell me that race doesn't matter? Race matters in everything. I don't care that you don't want to hear about it. I'm just talking, you know, in general, for the, you know, handful of people that are listening that probably don't want to hear about race. I wish I didn't have to talk about the shit. You know what I mean? I wish I didn't have to talk about it. But I'm going to. I'm going to have to talk about race and racism until the day I die, because it's never going to end. But when you have, like when we were going over the mass deportation stats, when you have, I read all the amount of people and stuff like that, from, you know, all the countries that they're deporting and stuff like that. If you look at all of the European countries that they're deporting people from, you know, from the United States out, the numbers are low, in the hundreds or in the low thousands for white-skinned immigrants. But when it's black and brown immigrants, they're deporting us by the hundreds of thousands, or by the 10s and 20s and 30s and thousands. I think they deported more people from Mexico. I'm going to have to go back and look at those numbers. But I think the amount of people that they deported just from Mexico totals more, or it's got to be close to the European migrants. Because the European countries I was naming off, and whatever, they were like in the hundreds as far as people they were deporting. If I'm right, I think it was like close to 300-some thousand Mexican people that they've deported already, y'all. And that's their land. That's Mexico's land, y'all. This is the last time I'm going to say it for a while, but why do you think a lot of places out west, especially in like California, why do you think they have the names that they do for the cities and the towns? I wasn't saying that shit just to be funny or make a joke. Look at places in California. Santa Barbara. Those are Latin names. Santa Clara. San Bernardino. El Segundo. Come on, y'all. Do you think some white man named them places that? No. Those places were established already. It's crazy to me that people can tell you to do research. I'm just saying in general. Someone can tell you to do your research, right? But they're not doing theirs. Because here's my thing. And like we can all go to different sites and different, publications and look at different, web and all that shit to find out information. But if you're seeking out the real information about stuff and not like what you wanted to say, or you know what I'm saying? If people are all doing the same digging, even if it's on different websites or in different pages, as long as that information is accurate and it's true and it's real, even if it's, because it's going to be different people writing the articles, so the wording might be a little different and shit like that, but the information is going to be the same. So if you have different people reading different articles, but it should all be the same information. We should all be coming to pretty much the same conclusion on shit. And that's when you know that it's race-related. Because when you have a black person, like we could be, right, you could have a white person right here and a black person right here, right? And someone could tell you to look up information on slavery and all that, blah, 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 right? And the Holocaust and all that, blah, 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 right? And both people can do all that research, right? And it'll just be crazy how they'll both come to different conclusions. Like the white person in most situations isn't going to acknowledge all the shit in there. They're not going to want to talk about it, or they're going to say, oh, well, that was way back then. It's not like that now. I'm going to get back to reading some of this. Yeah, race is crazy, man. And I know it sounds trivial and basic and just like kindergartenish or whatever, but you can't dispute the numbers, But like I say, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. And we've only had one black president in this country. Out of 47 of them, y'all, we've only had one black president. Why is that? We've had no women, excuse me. We've had no women. We've had a couple that have gotten close. So what is all of that, y'all? Why is that? 47 times, and you're trying to tell me we only had one black president? Why? There's a reason for that. That don't just happen coincidentally. When you do something 47 times, and only one time is it different, but the other 46 times it's the standard shit. It's the same. What is that? What is that, y'all? Come on, man. What is that? Don't tell me that's a coincidence. There's nothing coincidental about that. All right, so let's see. Survivor demographics. Oh, wait, hold on. Current annual disbursements, so over $700 million U.S. dollars a year in direct compensation and survival welfare. Germany committed $1.4 billion for 2023 through 2027 to supporting aging Holocaust survivors. So they're saying there's an estimated Holocaust survivors alive. So estimated Holocaust survivors alive. And for 2024, they're saying that there's 245,000 worldwide estimated Holocaust survivors as of 2024. And they're saying there's 135,000 in Israel, 45,000 in the United States, 40,000 combined with Russia, Ukraine, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, which includes France and Germany. They're saying there's 15,000, and 10,000 of other countries combined of Holocaust survivors. The average age of survivors is over 85 years old, hence increasing demand for medical and home care support. So a lot of that money, well, I don't want to say a lot, but, a good chunk of it's going towards health care. Restitution efforts. Artworks returned. Over 30,000 looted artworks have been returned through restitution efforts in Europe, Germany, France, Austria, especially. Swiss bank settlement. So there was a Swiss bank settlement that happened in 1998. $1.25 billion was paid by the Swiss banks to Holocaust victims' families who lost dormant accounts. I mean, man, Austrian compensation in the 2000s. $210 million for property and labor restitution. Current monthly payments to survivors. So this is from the Article 2 fund payments from 2023. 60,000 survivors receive up to $425 a month based on income and persecution history. A hardship fund, a one-time hardship fund of $2,800 US dollars to survivors who fled Nazi-occupied countries but weren't interned. Emergency and social care. Over 125,000 survivors receive funded home care, food, or medical assistance annually via claims conference managed programs. I'm going to read that again. Over 125,000 survivors receive, it doesn't say received, it says received. That means present. Receive funded home care, food, or medical assistance annually via claims conference managed programs. So they're getting that every year. Over 125,000 survivors. Man. Countries funded for survivor aid, over 40, including the United States, Canada, Israel, Ukraine, Hungary, Moldova, and more. So they're getting it, y'all. They're getting it. And throw on top of that their white privilege, just because they're white. All right, y'all. Back to the episode. Just on my way home from work, y'all. So shout out the mobile. It's either brand new or it's been refurbished or remodeled or whatever. I think it was remodeled. But this gas station on the mobile, it's on Downer and Capitol and Downer. So basically that would be Shorewood or whatever. That's my favorite gas station, hands down, ever. That's the best gas station I've ever been to in my entire life. Not exaggerating. Ever. It's so clean in there. I mean, it's almost like a small grocery store almost. It's big gas station. It's mobile. It's on Capitol and Downer, y'all. That thing is so clean in there. I mean, it's spick and span in that bitch. The gas pumps, man, the gas pumps are nice as hell, too. Like, while you're pumping, like, everything's digital on the gas pumps. And then, like, while you're pumping your gas, you can check, like, media on there. It's like a touch screen. You can check the weather. You can check, like, the news and stuff on there. It has the time on there, the date, all that stuff. Everything's digitalized. And the inside, man, is spick and span. That's the cleanest gas station I've ever been in, too. I am not exaggerating, y'all. The coffee was fresh. I don't do gas station coffee because you never know when they're making that shit. You know what I mean? That pot of coffee was fresh. Because I asked them, too. It looked fresh. You know, the pot looked clean and everything. You can tell if people haven't made the coffee and shit like that, and it's been sitting there. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning. You can tell the coffee's been sitting in there since 3 o'clock in the afternoon the day before. But I asked him, I was like, is this fresh? He was like, yep. He's like, I just made it about 15 minutes ago. And I was like, bet, man. I just told him, I was like, yeah, man, this is a nice gas station, man. I mean, and the customer service was excellent, too. They were friendly, too. That was the kicker. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah. So I let dude know, too. I was like, man, this is my new gas station. So basically, my point of telling y'all is, man, I recommend the Mobile on Capitol and Downer. It's excellent, and they got a lot of stuff in there too. A lot of stuff in there. All right, y'all. Let's get back to this episode, though. But shout them out. Go check them out if you're looking for a new gas station or whatever to support, or to, you know what I'm saying, to try to be a regular at. If you're in that area, you live anywhere around there or whatever, man, choose that gas station. It is worth it. It is nice. It's very clean in there too. And they're friendly. Because I've been there a few times now, and I've dealt with 3 different customer service clerks in there, and they've all been friendly. And it didn't seem fake either, like, you know what I mean? They all seem genuine. Yeah, but... All right, y'all. Just wanted to give them a shout-out. So, yeah, the Mobile on Capitol and Downer. East Capitol and Downer. Go check them out, man.
I guarantee you, we will have our own police force. And it won't be just for black people. It's going to be for Mexicans. It's going to be for Mexicans. It's going to be for black people. It's going to be for Armenians. I don't give a fuck. All you lost tribe motherfuckers.
Started from the bottom, oh yeah. Never thought we'd make it, we came up. Loyalty and honor, oh yeah. Had to fight them demons on our way up. You don't know what I done been through. Only few allowed in my circle and it ain't you. You don't know what I done been through. Only few allowed in my circle and it ain't you. Give a fuck if you popular. I see the plotting, but we ain't sleeping. This shit insomnia. Shove a camera up in my face and I'm too clocking you. Click, clap, pop, popping you. My third ocular done seen it coming. We can't be touched though the game isn't loyal. You can't kill a legend, dog. You just make him immortal. I live forever if they happen to take me tomorrow. Mama done raised me with morals and code of ethics. Who the most respected? Type of money that'll life change. They made a drama, we made them honor like bridesmaids. Married to the thrill of the game, ignite flames. Till death do us apart. I put my people in position, they don't owe a favor. Bloody money like Noriega, we blowing paper. Man, they only haters. Poppy, your movement is sloppy. I'm your Ayatollah. God 43 copy, use a higher soldier. Started from the bottom, oh yeah. Never thought we'd make it, we done came up. Loyalty and honor, oh yeah. Had to fight them demons on our way up. You don't know what I done been through. Only few allowed in my circle and it ain't you. You don't know what I done been through. Only few allowed in my circle and it ain't you.
Like Frank Sharon, cats want me dead, but I ain't caring. Pick the bottle up and spill half for the ones that left young. All this cash in the duffel and I ain't 21. Hated on, slept on, fuck it, I'm still hungry. These rap cats funny, they don't blow money in the creek with a bulletproof vest on. They can say what they wanna say. Homie, my check long and this jealousy tastes like gelato on steroids. I'm paranoid, hot boy, I'm pulling out big toys. Army, I got what you need up north. I'll send a jet and have you back in LAF4. Mob ties, salute to the ones up top. One day I'll get the car until I'm made, I won't stop. We get rich or get shot. Found love with the guap. We are what you're not. I pulled 30 mil at the spot, mafia.
Started from the bottom, oh yeah. Never thought we'd make it, we done came up. Loyalty and honor, oh yeah. Had to fight them demons on our way up. You don't know what I done been through. Only few allowed in my circle and it ain't you. You don't know what I done been through.
niggas look at me sideways. I don't give a fuck, these niggas sweet as agave. Tear that body up and dump her right on the highway. Just the pinky ring or the shot split. This ain't heavy metal, but a mosh pit. Looking to form a nigga is ostrich. Yeah, I'm playing bass with this is mob shit. Boss of all bosses, name my bones on the south side. Only gangsters can come outside. Throw the work in the trunk and nigga the route live. Bring the cash in the hammer, nigga run bout mine.
So Michelle's headed back over to the house.
Yeah.
I'm going to recommend to you my new favorite gas station. It's going to be yours too, probably.
Okay.
Well, you got to experience it first to see.
Okay.
So go to the gas station on Downer and Capitol.
Oh, they just reopened that one.
Yes. It's fabulous. My best gas station ever in life I've ever been to. Ever. So just go there and tell me how you like it.
Okay.
Okay? And get some gas. I put some gas in, but maybe just throw like $5 in there just to experience the gas pump. I already put some in this month.
Fast?
No, just
Okay.
the gas pump experience is nice too.
Okay.
It's all digital.
Oh,
It's like a
okay.
touch screen.
Oh, okay. Because I know that gas station was down for a long time.
They remodeled it and
Remodeled
stuff.
it, yeah.
It's wait till you go inside.
Because it was small before.
It's nice.
Is there still like a service station there? Because they had like a one-stall mechanic type thing in there.
Oh, I don't know if that's there. I don't think that's
Maybe
there
they got
anymore.
rid of that.
It's huge in there.
Okay, because
It's like a small damn grocery store. It's the cleanest gas station I've ever been in my life. It's just, yeah, you'll have to experience it. Okay?
Okay.
And tell me how it is. Customer service is great. That's true, y'all. Listen. Hold on. He's trying to, I don't know what he's digging into the carpet.
To the couch.
Into the couch. I don't know what he thinks is in there. But yeah, will you go there on the way?
Yeah.
You can just, hands down, had to give them a shout out. And who are you going with tonight? You got, Indiana and New York, they start tomorrow, but it's OKC and Minnesota tonight starting game 1 in OKC.
I'm going to say OKC.
Me too.
Because they're at home, and their crowd is really phenomenal.
They do. They got like a college-style atmosphere crowd. Even Michelle notices that. She's very observant with these. Because the crowd here at the, what's it called? The Bradley Center? Pfizer Forum. Our crowd is kind of dead. They get loud in moments.
Yeah.
If it's a close game or like Bucks score, a big basket or something, they'll get all geeked up. But that OKC crowd, they're loud the whole game. It feels like you're at like a college game, like at a Duke game or something. That crowd. I think it's going to be OKC 4-1. I think it's going to be short. And then they're going to get to sit there and wait because, like you said earlier, what's your prediction with the Indiana, New York?
I think that's going to go to Game 7.
And that's what I think, too. And OKC is going to finish their series early. They're going to be sitting there. They're going to get a ton of rest while Indiana and New York fight it out and go 7 games.
Yeah.
And then OKC is going to just destroy which one of them they end up playing in the finals. So, we'll see.
So they're still not approving this big, beautiful bill.
Oh, good.
He still hasn't gotten those few Republicans to sign off on it.
Oh, okay. So there's dissension among the ranks.
Yeah.
Good. Do we know which ones are holding out?
I'm sure we could find out, but... Hi.
That big shitty plan of his? Oh, it's horrible.
Big Beautiful Bill and Big Shitty Plan.
Yeah.
Chewy now.
$20 in quarters. I hope the coin machine ain't out. Find out. Let's see. I hope they got 20. There's only been one time I've come to get quarters out the coin machine and it's been out, so let's see. Damn, that's a lot of quarters. Damn. It's raining out y'all here in Milwaukee. I hope the weather is nice wherever you're at. Let's say at least it's on Monday afternoon. It's about 3 o'clock. It's all raining out. But hopefully it's going to get better. Excited for these NBA playoffs tonight, I know that.
I'm just running travel in town. Speak on the thoughts that I had on my mind. Reminisce on the days that I had on the ground. But I'm still on the grind, yeah, it's bathroom time. I'm just trying to travel in town. Speak on the thoughts that I had on my mind. Reminisce on the days that I had on the ground. But I'm still on the grind, yeah, it's bathroom time. Nobody looking at that. A few smart niggas was looking at that. Why you think that the highs
motherfucking bookie bars, you know what I mean? The Black Marv Alvin Brown, Colin Cowherd, the motherfucking lucky number 11, you know what I mean? However you want to do it, nigga, teasers, parlays, straight bets, ifs, half times, you know what I mean? Money lines, run lines, yeah. Shout out to my nigga OP. We got bottles of Cavassier.
I'm just searching and
I bake pies. Some swore never to tell, but they lied. Some wouldn't, biting the bullet from their pride. When they died, shit was pain. I stayed high. Now I ain't talking about the game, but the devil may cry.
Motherfucking bookie bars, you know what I mean? The black Marv Alvin, brown collar, cowherd, the motherfucking lucky number 11, you know what I mean? However you want to do it, nigga, teasers, parlays, straight bets, ifs, half times, you know what I mean? Money lines, run lines, yeah. Shout out to my nigga OP. We got bottles of Cavassier.
I'm just searching and looking.
Check out how illiterate that Christy Nome is. The lady that's running the DHS or whatever. She doesn't even know, like, what the laws mean and stuff. Check this out.
Excuse me, that's... So, Secretary Nome, what is habeas corpus? Well, so, Secretary Nome, what is habeas corpus?
Well, habeas corpus is a constitutional right that the president has
Wrong.
To be able to remove people from this country and suspend their right
let me stop you, ma'am.
Suspend their
habeas
right
corpus, excuse me.
To be able to remove people from this country and suspend their right
let me stop you, ma'am.
Suspend their
habeas
right
corpus, excuse me, that's incorrect.
President
habeas
Lincoln
corpus,
used it.
Excuse me. Habeas corpus is the legal principle that requires that the government provide a public reason for detaining and imprisoning people. If not for that protection, the government could simply arrest people, including American citizens, and hold them indefinitely for no reason. Habeas corpus is the foundational right that separates free societies like America from police states like North Korea. As a senator from the Live Free or Die state, this matters a lot to me and my constituents and to all Americans. So, Secretary Nome, do you support the core protection that habeas corpus provides, that the government must provide a public reason in order to detain and imprison someone?
Yeah, I support habeas corpus. I also recognize that the President of the United States has the authority under the Constitution to decide if it should be suspended or not. Let us be clear, though, that this president...
It has never been done without approval of Congress. Even Abraham Lincoln got retroactive approval from Congress.
She sounds pretty unqualified to me, right? She doesn't even know her own job.
When I land OT, fuck baggage claim. Indian pounding a pistol with automatic aim. Got a thick ass stripper, on his ladder came. A man's locked down, she tryna fuck with the powder game. I ain't ballin', mommy, I'm squared out. You ain't fallin', nigga, you're aired out. No tattoos, but I'm teared out. Clear out, I'm that same G that you hear about. Mix the kush with the Afghan. Biggie shit, middle finger to the half man. Still salute to the whole man. Flights with Columbia, fucking with the old man. Spin for the polo dons and night bosses. Red and white horse, flies the Porsche. 6 gears, leave you in the rear from the horse. Third lane banging like a clip full of corpses. From New York to anywhere and back, still flossing. Light up an ounce, then bounce to the fourth. All glass terrace, 100 grand, gray moon. I see them all mad, jealous from my landscape view.
Oh, you look nice, baby. Remember this story? Well, I don't know if y'all have heard about it, but
a school bus driver charged with sexually assaulting a 6-year-old. Oh, in Pewaukee. Yeah, I did hear about that.
We'll play the audio for y'all too. I think is there a video, baby?
There's audio, yeah.
A Pewaukee bus driver accused of sexually assaulting a 6-year-old girl on a school bus. 12 News Kendall Keys reports the disturbing allegations out of Waukesha County.
I am here to reclaim my daughter's voice. That voice was silenced by this monster months ago.
The voice of a heartbroken mother speaking in a Waukesha County courtroom Friday.
It's a white fella, too.
Prosecutors say her 6-year-old daughter was repeatedly sexually assaulted by her school bus driver. We're not showing the mother and have distorted her voice to protect her daughter's identity.
Her innocence was ripped away from her in the most horrific way, shamelessly, for many months, by an authority figure that she trusted.
Prosecutors say the girl's mother made the discovery, finding her daughter alone on the school bus with the 62-year-old driver, Thomas Felser, seen here in cuffs and an orange jumpsuit.
The mother had become concerned when she checked a GPS app and saw that the school bus had not moved for about 10 minutes.
Investigators say the mother drove to the bus, and when she called her daughter's name, Felser popped his head up super fast from a seat in the middle of the school bus.
The victim later participated in a forensic interview where she disclosed that the defendant repeatedly touched her on the bus. Law enforcement corroborated these sexual assaults by...
All right, that's enough.
That's so gross. Like, that is a mental illness.
Y'all should have saw how me and Michelle were looking at each other. Michelle and I were looking at each other.
Like, don't you think that's a mental illness if you're attracted to a 6-year-old and you're 62?
All day long, that's a mental... And seeing that's the thing, like, with people like that. And I'm all for people doing their time and getting released and redeeming themselves. But those people aren't redeemable to me. They're going to reoffend. They're going to touch somebody else. I don't care how much counseling they get in there.
Right.
That is a sickness that I don't feel that they can control. And they need to be on their own place.
Right. And they all, not to advocate for them, but they don't get proper treatment in a regular prison.
Well,
they need like extensive treatment. You're not getting that.
The basics
you're not getting that in prison. You're just not. Like
agreed.
Any mental illness which caused your crime, you're not getting the proper treatment in a regular facility. Wouldn't you agree?
I would agree with that kind of treatment that you don't get. They probably don't get what they need. But like as far as drugs and alcohol.
That's separate.
That's separate,
I'm saying,
but
like if you're like a schizophrenic or you're paranoid or
you need
whatever,
some extra help.
And like you went on a crime spree, like you need help for that particular thing, and you're not going to get it at Waupun
because they're not going to pay for it.
No, like you need to, those like mental illness related crimes should be at a different facility, in my opinion.
Agreed. They can put them pedophiles and shit on Annihilation Island.
They can put them at Alcatraz.
They can put them in Alcatraz. Put them and the white supremacy people that are out here terrorizing and shooting up the schools and all them. Just put them all in there and just let them just beat the shit out of each other and kill each other and all that kind of stuff. All right, y'all, we're heading to work. Peace.